What is the single most you'll understand it when you're older thing? Friendships fading away. I remember my dad telling me all kinds of cool stories about things him and his friends did in the past. I even asked him, why aren't you still friends with these people? He really did basically say, it's complicated, you'll understand when you're older. Even back then I remember thinking, that's crazy, me and my friends will always be friends. Sitting here now in my early 30s and it really hits home. Losing best friends is the hardest. It's definitely like a breakup emo. It hurts your heart but in a different way. My heart still really aches to this day how my best friend became my ex-best friend. Edit, thank you to who gave me the silver. It's a first. Really glad I'm not alone in BF heart aches. Edit to edit, your stories and sharing, I want to reply to all of them and give you all big hugs. I'm a huge empath and I've been tearing up and crying because I feel for every one of you. Thank you for hugs and silver, but I wish I could give you all real hugs and silver in return. Yeah, to me losing one of my best friends was worse than when my boyfriend broke up with me. Dating is a binary thing, you're either dating or not, and you can only date one person. It makes sense when someone doesn't want to commit to you like that, and you can rationalize the breakup and feel a bit better. They get a benefit from breaking up, they can do a lot of things they wouldn't do in an exclusive relationship. Friendships aren't like that though. You don't have to be exclusive to be best friends, you can have other friends too. So if your best friend doesn't want to be friends anymore, it's impossible not to take it personally. Your friend doesn't gain any new freedoms or experiences by ending your friendship. Which means she really doesn't like you at all and would choose not having a friend over being friends with you. I feel this. Last year, one of my best friends told me he never wanted to talk to me again, a week after I got dumped by this girl I was dating. The friend breakup hurt so much more. I'd sent him a long olive branch sort of text initially, because I sensed he was distancing himself and I had some ideas as to why, for which I apologized. A few weeks passed before he sent me a scathing email. It really hurt because he confirmed the distance was for those reasons I'd suspected, but my apology wasn't going to be enough for him. He'd held in all of these concerns about me and it had hit a boiling over point that he couldn't contain anymore. It hurt like hell and sent me into a spiral for weeks, even months. Fortunately, some mutual friends told him how the email impacted me and we started talking again when I visited the city they live in later last year. Now, we're discussing traveling abroad together after COVID runs its course. Strong friendships can do that, but even stronger can find each other again. I didn't talk to my best friend for a year and a half. We had lived together and he got a girlfriend and everything went off the rails, culminating in them moving out, refusing to pay months of rent, and a ton of drama. I thought I had lost him forever. But we did end up friends again. During that time, he broke up with the girl and realized the mistakes that relationship caused him to make, not just with me but lots of friends and family members. Some trust is gone, but we've been working on fixing it. We don't live together anymore, but we hang out at least 5 to 6 days a month. It will probably never be the same as before, but some friendships are salvageable if everyone involved wants to salvage it. Not everybody is going to like you, even if you're a good person. Conversely, not everyone you like will be a good person. Had to learn that the hard way. Yeah. It wasn't until recently that I realized I was projecting my good qualities onto toxic people and was in turn being taken advantage of by them. Normally I project my own fear and self-hatred onto others, and default think they don't like me, sometimes even after they reassure me otherwise. You kind of just blew my mind. The reverse. Projection is the attribution of a rejected trait in the self to another person. Normally it's bad things we don't like about ourselves, or things we can't even bring ourselves to think is true about the self. Like how a liar might often accuse others of lying to them for no logical reason. Someone with a disrupted sense of self, like self-loathing, trauma, etc., though, might have a hard time believing they have good traits. So instead of their bad traits being projected on others, it's their good ones. The quiet, boring, simple times are the best. Everyone's fed, happy, healthy, chill, napping. These are the good times. Sleep is no punishment, it's a gift. Yup, I used to dislike nap times when I was in kindergarten. Now that I'm older, I wish I could take a nap here and there during my work days. If the door is closed, you should always knock. I have seen your name, and I don't even want to know why you made this comment. He clearly opened a laundry room door without knocking and got a blowjob. Doesn't want us to get the same. Selfish bastard. Or maybe he gave the BJ money. There was a reason that you didn't get those shoes, the PS5, a new shiny car, etc. Maintaining a home and keeping the family fed is ducking expensive. King Triton, Ariel's dad was right. She was just a child and she was not in love with the random prince she saw for all of 30 seconds. Edit, thanks for the gold, friends. I will take it back to my hoard of trinkets from the human world. Honestly, this is a great example of what's wrong with parent-child interactions, because when we were kids, we did agree with Ariel. We were persuaded by her emotions and saw her desires as our own. As adults, we have a fully developed brain, hopefully, and more life experience, and therefore we aren't convinced by the ephemeral, but intense emotions, that teenagers have. But rather than validating Ariel's feelings, interests, and desires, Triton's basically like, you're wrong for feeling that way, and also I'm going to destroy your room. Which actually happens. Parents actually do that, and are then surprised when the kid turns to the only validating adult in the room, who just might be a soul-stealing witch. I really like revisiting media as an adult, not only to see how my sympathies have changed, but also to make sure that I'm not the adult who is perpetuating the conflict by not listening. Because as an adult, I expect better from myself. Edit, well, just got back from my DD campaign to find that this exploded. Thank you, kind strangers, for the gold and various awards. Not only did it make me smile uncontrollably, but I think it highlights an important point for all of us: there is power as listening. And this is why my dad watched every single kid's show and movie with me. Not only did we stop to talk about different points of view, but it allowed my dad to firsthand see what I thought related to while watching these movies. Honestly, knowing that my dad don't agree with Triton either made me way more comfortable to come talk to him about other stuff later, since I knew he wasn't going to act like that. 1510 Recommend actually watching shit with your kid and not just putting the TV on and walking away. This is so cool. That your dad did this. Time, wasting time, and how time flies. It's mid-deck. I'm saying to myself, what the heck, it's been 9 months of COVID, I can't believe this year is almost over. As you age it seems to go faster. When I was younger I felt like time just dragged on some days. I can remember when I was school age, the year seemed to drag on forever, then when it did end we had the 6 weeks holidays. 6 whole weeks. With hour upon hour of sunshine, towards the end of it school was but a distant memory. It felt like it would never end. Of course it always did when September finally arrived. Now I work at a school and it's terrifying how quickly we blaze through each term. Those same holidays are over in a flash. I think it's because now I'm older I'm consciously worried about making the most of the time off, not wasting it. When I was young the biggest worry was whether my friends and I would play in the woods or on the fell that day. Time wasn't a worry, we thought we had all the time in the world. Literally getting older. Never thought much about when adults would say you're still young, just enjoy it. I always wanted to be older because I was tired of HS, wanted to be out of college, etc. Now I want aging to slow down a bit. The thing that is the worst about getting older is seeing your parents and other loved ones age and eventually pass away. When you're a kid, even a high school age kid, you assume these people will just be around forever and things will always stay the same as they were. It makes it easier to be disrespectful and generally take them for granted. I'm now 35, and this year was the first where I started noticing physical limitations with my dad especially, and that was hard. They're minor for now, but it's only going to get worse. The biggest blow to me is realizing I likely have less than 20 years left with my parents. Losing that constant source of love and support will be hard to take. They've been a rock my entire life. To add to this, when you're a kid everyone who is already old just continues to be old. It's like nothing really changes. As you start seeing middle-aged folk transition into the elderly, it's a real dose of reality. Also, it's really tough seeing public figures, musicians, who were around your age when you first started noticing them, or just a really big part of your social consciousness, grow old and change and or die. Prince, David Bowie, Kurt Cobain, Michael Jackson, George Carlin, all the Beatles except Ringo, etc.